Hi, Andy XL back with episode 21 of my look at each of the 32 NFL teams in their state of the franchise addresses. And episode 21 belongs to the Pittsburgh Steelers. So, when we're talking about the Steelers, let's start looking at the division. With the Ravens and Bengals looking to bounce back from disappointing seasons in 2025, can the Steelers make the right moves this season to retain their NFC North title and the new head coach Mike McCarthy following the departure of Mike Tomlin? And they're going to get another go on the what will Aaron Rodgers do merry-go-round. Um, and that's the first big question they have to answer. They seem to be hinting they would like Rodgers to come back. If he wants to come back, how long he takes over that decision? Well, he's dragged it out forever in previous off seasons, which can't be good for franchises, but I don't think Rodgers cares about that. If Rodgers retires or moves on as a free agent, who will they bring in to replace him is going to be absolutely key here, and that what they get from the quarterback position. They're another one of about six teams that really what happens at the quarterback position is going to be absolutely fundamental to them now. I know quarterbacks are always really important, but even more so for Pittsburgh, I would say. They've got about 44 million of cap space at the moment, according to overthecap.com. Now, at least 10 to 15 million, maybe a little bit more than that, would go on the quarterback. So let's bear in mind that they've probably got 25 to 30 million to work with. They've also got 5 draft picks in the first 3 rounds. Um, sorry, let me just make sure I'm right on that. Sorry, is it 5? Just double checking, or is it 4? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, they've got 5 in the first 99 picks. They've got 3 in round 3, and then they've got another 2 in round 4. So they've got 7 in the first 135 picks. So they've certainly got a load of draft capital to work with this off season and some cap space. So that's not too bad for them. Let's start with that quarterback position. Well, Aaron Rodgers played well last season. And he's now 42, though, and cannot be expected to go on doing so forever. And with Mason Rudolph surely not being the answers, the Steelers would have to look to the free agent market or the draft for an alternative solution if Rodgers is not back. Now, this looks like a weakish draft class, and once Fernando Mendoza's gone, you're really going to be taking a punt on anybody after that. So let's have a look at the veterans. Maybe somebody like Malik Willis would make sense from the free agent market. But pick 20, as I say, pick 22 in the first round is not a good spot to be taking a quarterback for me. So if they went that route, round 2 or 3 might be a chance to take that punt on a cornerback from this draft class. But if they start a rookie, then I think that's a tough ask for them next season. So I think they're more likely to try and get Rodgers back or bring a veteran free agent in. Running back. Jalen Warren and Kenny Gainwell were the running backs that took the Steelers to be the 21st run offense in the league last season. Gainwell's now a free agent, so the options are to bring him back or seek finding a better alternative to push their running game into the top half of the league ranking wise. Wide receiver. With George Pickens having departed for Dallas, the Steelers were left with DK Metcalf and little else at wide receiver last season. Calvin Austin did something to help, but adding support for Metcalf has to be near the top of the to-do list this off-season. Austin is also a free agent, so they could even be looking for more than one wide receiver this off-season. Tight end. The opposite was true at tight end. They had Pat Fryermouth, Darnell Washington, and Jonnu Smith, who combined for 1,072 yards and 7 touchdowns. With all 3 contracted for next season, this is certainly a position that the Steelers can leave alone. On the offensive line, Isaac Seumalo, Mason McCormick, and Zach Frazier gave the Steelers a really strong internal part of their offensive line last season, but neither tackle really lived up to their first round draft pick status. Seumalo would be a free agent they would love to bring back. In the event they do not, they may be well looking for a guard and an offensive tackle this off-season. Quick drink to keep my throat going. Onto the defense and defensive tackle. Veteran Cam Hayward was the top ranked defensive tackle by PFF last season. Keanu Benton did okay alongside him. With the Steelers ranking 8th against the run and those 2 signed up for next season, there is no immediate need here, but both are about to enter the final year of their current deal. So there's an option there with all those draft picks to use one of them on a long-term replacement for the soon-to-be 37 Hayward. On the edge, TJ Watt, Alex Smith, and Nick Herberg had half of the Steelers' 48 sacks between them last season. All three should be back in 2026, which probably means the Steelers are not short of pass rushers next season. Inside linebacker, Patrick Queen and Peyton Wilson were the starters. Both are under contract for next season, but I would not be shocked if the Steelers had some competition for them at inside linebacker this offseason. Safety, Kyle Duggan, Miles Killebrew, Jabril Peppers, and Chuck Clark are all free agents, leaving Deshaun Elliott as their only safety of note in the building, and he missed 12 games last season. All four of those free agents will have turned 30 come the start of next season too. So it may be a case of bring two back, draft one, and add a free agent too. But I expect some activity at safety from the Steelers this offseason for sure. Cornerback. The Steelers' pass defense ranked a lowly 23rd last season, but was 8th in the league for getting picks. However, only 6 of those 15 picks came from the from the cornerback position. Given that and the strength of their pass rushing unit, the cornerback group has to come under scrutiny here. Joey Porter, Jalen Ramsey, Brandon Eccles, James Pierre, and Asante Samuel, who missed the first 11 games of the season, were the guys to see time here, along with Darius Slay, who was released in December. Samuel and Pierre are now free agents. Porter and Ramsey are big names with big reputations, but the numbers indicate they were not great last season. The Steelers allowed the 5th most yardage to opposing wide receivers and joint 7th most touchdowns for good measure. Eccles was actually their highest rated cornerback with PFF. Trade rumours are gathering Reed Porter, and I would be far from shocked if the new regime did not move on from him. Bring one of Samuel or Pierre back and add a cornerback replacement via the draft or free agency. So again, all across that the secondary, you could see plenty of activity this off-season from the Steelers. On special teams, kicker Chris Boswell had a patchy year, but his previous body of work will surely see him retain his position for 2026. Punter Corliss Waitman struggled last season, and as a restricted free agent this off-season could be one they look to replace. The Steelers tried a variety of kick returners, mostly from their wide receiver and running back groups, with 3 of them in Kenny Gainwell, Scotty Miller, and Calvin Austin being free agents. The Steelers could be on the lookout for a better option to return kicks next season unless they keep deploying one of those if they return. Right, to sum up for the Steelers, obviously, like I said, what happens at the quarterback position is going to be absolutely fundamental for the Steelers in 2026. Apart from that, they still have plenty of other work to do. So, and this is what I see as their main issues. Add a better support for DK Metcalf at wide receiver. Trade Jalen Ramsey and replace him via draft or free agency. Upgrade their running back group. Re-sign Isaac Seumalo and get a better play at tackle. Bring in 2 new safeties. Draft a defensive tackle as long-term replacement for Cam Hayward. Add an inside linebacker and get a new punter and kick returner. So there's plenty of things to do there. Now, they have some draft, like I say, certainly have draft capital and they have some cap space to work with. So they could get all of that done. But it's going to be a pretty hectic first off season for Mike McCarthy and the front office. So let's keep a monitor on what they do. But as I say, with the Ravens and Bengals certainly likely to improve. Yeah, let's not talk about the Browns for now because I really don't think they're a factor. But how they answer that quarterback question is going to be fundamental here for the Steelers if they're to retain their title ahead of 2 improving teams who are looking to bounce back next season. So that's it for the Steelers in episode 21. The Chargers are up next in episode 22. So I'm hoping to get that one put out today. So bear with me and look forward to that one coming out. See you soon.